I couldn't believe it. The HOA president just called the cops, claiming I was trespassing on my own ranch. Apparently, Victoria Peterson decided to gift my 2-acre lake to her son. Her son, Tyler, even put up an official-looking sign. And when I objected, they had me arrested. She told the police I was endangering the community and keeping innocent children from enjoying the lake. As if that weren't absurd enough, she said I was dangerously aggressive and unstable. You see, this woman thinks she runs the neighborhood. She walks around like the self-appointed queen of the HOA. She believes she can take whatever she wants. Rules and rights be damned. But there's something she doesn't know about me. Something very important. And trust me, once she finds out, her little kingdom is going to come crashing down. Let me take you back to the day it all started. It was a beautiful Monday morning. I woke up, as usual, planning to spend the morning fishing. Cup of coffee in hand, I stepped out onto the porch and froze. Right there on my property, beside the lake I own, stood a massive wooden sign. Oakwood, golden letters carved in bold. Tyler Peterson, Memorial Lake. Gift from HOA President Vicki Peterson to the community beneath it. A cartoon drawing of kids swimming, and in tiny text, dedicated to our future generation, open to all community children. I stood there stunned, steam still rising from my coffee, trying to make sense of it all. Wait, Memorial Lake? Tyler is still alive, isn't he? Just then I heard laughter echo across the lake. Tyler was on the shoreline, live streaming in on his phone, grinning like a kid on Christmas morning. Yo guys, welcome to Tyler's Lake. My mom gifted me the whole lake for my birthday. 2 whole acres. Pool party this weekend. Who's coming? The chat was flooding with comments. OMG, so lucky. Your mom is amazing. Can I come swim? He was soaking in the attention. And what shocked me wasn't just how confident he sounded. It was how deeply he believed all of it. To him, this wasn't a prank or stunt. He really believed his mother had the power to give away my lake. I calmly walked over, my voice low, controlled. Tyler, I need you and your mom to remove that sign immediately. He glanced up, annoyed I had interrupted his live stream. Excuse me? Who are you supposed to be? David Miller, I own this property, including the lake. Tyler laughed, loud, obnoxious, smug. Guys, the old owner is here causing drama. But don't worry, my mom handled all the legal stuff. This is private property, I said, my tone sharper now. That sign has to come down. Dude, Tyler waved me off. My mom is the HOA president. She controls everything here. She has the power to turn this into a community lake. She said it's called eminent domain or something. And just like that, as if summoned by chaos itself, Vicki Peterson appeared, hair perfectly styled, white blouse, navy blazer, carrying her designer handbag like a trophy. She walked up the path with the posture of a woman who believed she owned the land beneath her. Tyler, sweetie, what's going on? She asked, her voice sugary sweet, but her eyes sharp, cold. Mom, this guy wants us to take down our sign. She turned to me and smiled, fake, polished, corporate. Oh, David, good morning. I was just about to come speak with you about removing that illegal sign from your yard. Illegal sign? I raised an eyebrow. That's my property. Well, she said, tilting her head, HOA rules can be complicated. Property rights aren't always absolute, especially when community needs are involved. She gestured toward the lake with a performer's flair. Think about it, David. All the children who could benefit from a lake like this, clean water, nature, it's for the greater good. Tyler chimed in. Yeah, Mom explained everything. I'm basically the lake manager now. Vicki patted his shoulder. Exactly, sweetheart. Vicki, I said slowly, locking eyes with her, you have no right to do this. Her smile faded, just slightly. Are you a lawyer now, David? Let's just say I know the HOA rules better than you think. That's when her mask slipped, just a crack. For the first time, she looked nervous, but she recovered quickly, turning back toward the lake. The decision has already been made, through proper HOA channels. Then we have a problem. Vicky narrowed her eyes. And then, without warning, she pulled out her phone. 911, yes, I'd like to report a dangerous man. He's threatening me and my son, preventing children from accessing the lake, making aggressive gestures. Tyler looked confused. Mom, he didn't threaten us. Shut up, Tyler, she hissed, hand over the mic. Please hurry, she said into the phone. We're scared for our safety. Within 10 minutes, a police cruiser pulled up beside my ranch. Officer Martinez stepped out, tall, calm, mustache trimmed like he meant business. Ma'am, what seems to be the problem? Vicky ran toward him like a damsel from a soap opera. Officer, thank goodness you're here. This man is threatening us. He's trying to stop a legally approved community project. Martinez turned to me. Sir, can I see some ID and proof of property ownership? Without a word, I handed over my driver's license and a neatly laminated copy of the deed. He examined the documents, then glanced toward the lake, then at the massive sign, then at Vicky. Ma'am, he said slowly, this property, including the lake, clearly belongs to Mr. Miller. Do you have legal documentation giving the HOA authority to post signage on private property? Vicky stammered. Her confidence cracked like thin ice under pressure. Well, the HOA has certain rights for community benefit. Unless you can produce official legal documentation, Officer Martinez said firmly, this sign is trespassing. Mr. Miller has every right to request its removal. Just like that, the illusion shattered. Vicky stood frozen, face flushed, fists clenched. Tyler, for once, had stopped streaming. He looked between his mom and the officer, clearly unsure what to believe anymore. Later that evening, Vicky stood near her car, red-faced and furious. This isn't over, David, she spat. You have no idea who you're messing with. I run this community, and I know how to make things difficult for residents who don't cooperate. Mom, Tyler mumbled, maybe we should just get in the car, Tyler. They drove off, but the sign remained, still bolted by the lake. Too angry to remove it herself, I suppose. So I did it for her, took it down, tossed it in my garage, slammed the door. As their car disappeared over the ridge, I whispered to myself, you just made a huge mistake, Vicky. She thought she could manipulate HOA rules for her personal gain. She had no idea she was poking a bear. The next morning, my mailbox was stuffed with envelopes. HOA notices, all with bright red stamps. Each day that week, 2, sometimes 3 more arrived. Violation number 1, landscaping noncompliance. And apparently, the wild vegetation around my lake created an unsightly appearance. Never mind that those were 80-year-old oak and maple trees. Fine. 500 violation number 2, noise disturbance. Yes, this one was real. Noise from wildlife was apparently disturbing the neighborhood. Birds, frogs, crickets. Fine. $300 violation number 3, environmental hazard. My lake, they claimed, was now a mosquito breeding ground. Odors, too. Fine. $800 total and that size $600. And climbing down, and every fine signed in elegant cursive, Victoria Peterson, HOA president. I laughed at first, then I got angry. Meanwhile, Tyler was posting videos daily, dancing by the pool, unboxing $200 t-shirts, flashing wads of cash. Thanks for the allowance bump, Mom. When your mom runs the neighborhood, you live like a prince. Friday night, I sat in my kitchen, lights off, fines spread out across the table, my phone beside them. I'd never felt this overwhelmed, not even in my worst years in tech. I opened Zillow and started browsing rural properties. Somewhere without an HOA, somewhere quiet. Maybe peace of mind was worth more than principle. But then, I looked out the window. Moonlight danced on the lake's still surface, the place I'd poured my savings into, the home where I'd come to rebuild my life. No, I wasn't going to let one power-hungry Karen take this from me. And that was when my phone buzzed. An email from a name I hadn't seen in years. Charlotte Shaw, HOA bookkeeper. David, I need to see you urgently. Something is very wrong with the HOA finances. Please don't tell anyone. Saturday morning, Charlotte arrived at my cabin. She looked exhausted. Gray hair tied in a loose bun, glasses fogged, hands trembling as she clutched a coffee cup. David, I've been the HOA bookkeeper for 8 years. I've never seen anything like this. She slid a folder onto the table. Inside, dozens of invoices, bank statements, payment approvals, all signed by Vicky. This month alone, she approved over $30,000 in spending, but I don't see a single improvement around the neighborhood. She pointed at the expenses: lake cleanup consultation, $8,000 community safety assessment, $12,000 landscaping emergency fund, $10,000. I asked questions, Charlotte whispered. She threatened me, said if I didn't approve the payments, she'd accuse me of financial misconduct. Charlotte, do you remember the budget manager position from when the HOA was first created? She looked up, puzzled. Then her eyes widened. Oh my God, you're right, the original charter. I do remember that position, but no one ever used it. The last president ran things openly. He didn't need oversight. I stood up, walked to my file cabinet, and pulled out a thick binder. HOA Incorporation Documents 2021. Inside, my name. Official stamp. Elected budget manager. I've held this position since day one, I said. It gives me the power to approve or deny any expenditure over $5,000. Charlotte gasped. You can stop her. You can freeze the account. Not just that, I smiled. I can launch a full audit of every transaction. And I intend to. She stared at the paper like it was the Holy Grail. When? Monday, 2:00 p.m., emergency HOA meeting. Let her present her $50,000 lake remediation project. And that's when I flipped the switch. Monday, 2:00 p.m. The HOA community center was packed. Vicky stood at the front like a corporate CEO. PowerPoint slides glowing behind her was fellow residents, she began confidently. We face an environmental crisis. The lake on Oakwood Drive poses serious risks. Mosquito breeding, standing water, and declining property values. Photos of the lake flashed on screen, doctored to look murky and polluted. For the sake of your children, your health, and our home, she said, voice trembling with righteous urgency, we must take immediate action. She clicked to a slide labeled, Lake Remediation Project. Total $50,000, vendor, Peterson Environmental Solutions. A few residents raised their hands. That seems expensive. Can we get a second opinion? Vicky smiled tightly. The decision is based on expert assessments. Delays could cost us even more, legally and financially. Hesitant hands went up. The motion passed. Charlotte, Vicky ordered, please process the payment. Charlotte, seated at her laptop, nodded nervously. She typed, paused, frowned. Mrs. Peterson, the transaction was denied. Vicky's brow furrowed. What? That's not possible. Try again. Charlotte typed slower this time. Transaction denied. Account frozen. Pending review. Gasps rippled through the room. Vicky's mask cracked. There must be some banking glitch, she muttered, pulling out her phone. I'm calling the bank right now. Speakerphone for transparency. A calm voice answered. First National Bank, how can I help you? This is Victoria Peterson, HOA president. Why was our $50,000 payment declined? A pause. Ma'am, your account is temporarily suspended, pending audit review. The freeze was initiated by your HOA's budget manager. Silence. Vicky blinked rapidly. Budget manager? Who? According to our records, Mr. David Miller. All heads turned. I stood slowly and walked to the front. Hello, Vicky. Vicky's face drained of color. This is impossible, she whispered. I'm the president. And I replied calmly, have been the budget manager since the HOA was incorporated. Your authority ends where mine begins. The room erupted in murmurs. People were sitting straighter now, no longer passive bystanders. This is sabotage, Vicky snapped. You're just trying to block community improvements. I lifted a folder. Actually, I'm preventing what appears to be embezzlement. I turned to Charlotte. Charlotte, could you share with the community who owns Peterson Environmental Solutions? She swallowed nervously. It's owned by Victoria Peterson's brother-in-law. A sharp intake of breath swept through the crowd. So, I continued, our president attempted to transfer $50,000 of HOA funds to her own family. Someone stood up. Vicky, show us the other vendor quotes. Where's the proof this was competitive? Vicky said nothing, because there were no quotes. Tyler tugged his mom's sleeve. Mom, what's going on? Go wait in the car, Tyler, she barked. The mask was off. No charm, no grace, only fear. I stepped forward with my laptop and connected it to the projector. Ladies and gentlemen, I've spent the last week conducting a full financial investigation. Let's take a look at where our money actually went. Slides flashed up. $5,000. Paid to Tyler Peterson. Memo. Youth Calm Consulting Services. $8,000. Peterson Environmental. Memo. Lake Assessment. $10,000. Community Improvement Fund. Deposited into Vicky's personal account. The room erupted. She paid her own son? This is theft. That's our money. Tyler was shaking now. Mom, you told me it was from your job, from your salary. Vicky growled through her teeth. Tyler, stop talking. You said HOA presidents get paid. That I deserved it. A neighbor shouted, there's no salary for HOA presidents. It's a volunteer position. Tyler looked like he'd been hit with a brick. You, lied to me? The room was dead silent until I connected my laptop to the projector. Let's take a closer look at Tyler's own social media. Up flashed a photo of a brand new Kawasaki Ninja motorcycle. Captioned, thanks, Mom, for the bonus money. This bike cost more than most people make in months. Then a video, Tyler counting a stack of bills, laughing. And $5,000 from Mom just because she's awesome. HOA perks, baby. Then came the dance clips, designer clothes, champagne, flashy hashtags. When your mom runs the whole neighborhood and hooks you up with the designer lifestyle. Gasps rippled through the room. Tyler's face went pale. I didn't know it was HOA money. She told me she got paid as president, that it was all her consulting business. A neighbor stood up. There is no salary for HOA president. It's a volunteer role. Tyler turned to his mom, heartbroken. You lied to me, Vicky snapped. Tyler, stop talking. I stepped forward. The money trail doesn't lie. Every dollar came from HOA accounts. Paid to her son, her sister's catering company, and her brother-in-law's fake environmental firm. The room exploded. She stole from us. This is fraud. Remove her now. A neighbor raised their hand. Motion to remove Victoria Peterson as HOA president, effective immediately, and refer this for criminal investigation. Seconded. All in favor? Every hand went up, except Vicky's and Tyler's. Vicky stood there, stunned, shaking. This is a setup. He's been harassing me. He broke into HOA documents. He's the criminal. That's when she made her final, desperate move. Monday morning, sirens howled down Oakwood Drive. 3 police cruisers pulled into the HOA office. Inside, Vicky had barricaded herself, surrounded by shredded paper and chaos. Tyler sat beside her, pale and silent. No live stream this time. Officer Martinez met me outside. Mr. Miller, she's claiming you stole HOA documents and threatened her. Right on cue, Vicky burst out. Hair messy, makeup smeared, rage in her voice. Arrest him! He's been sabotaging me for weeks. He's trying to take over. Residents gathered around, some filming. Charlotte arrived, holding a box of carefully preserved financial records. She's lying, Charlotte said firmly. David followed every legal step. He saved this community. I stepped forward and handed Officer Martinez my credentials. I'm David Miller, HOA budget manager since 2021, legally authorized to audit all transactions over $5,000. The officer reviewed the notarized documents, blinking in surprise. These are legit. You've had this authority all along? Yes, I never used it until now. Vicky's world was collapsing. I didn't steal. I was helping the community. That money went to good causes. So you admit you took it? The officer asked. Vicky froze. Tyler finally spoke, voice trembling. She gave me $5,000, bought me a motorcycle, said she earned it from her job. I didn't know it was your money. Mom, he whispered, what did you do? I turned to the officers. We have proof, bank records, fake invoices, even audio of Vicky threatening Charlotte. That was the last straw. Officer Martinez stepped forward. Victoria Peterson, you are under arrest for embezzlement, fraud, in filing false reports. You have the right to remain silent. The cuffs clicked. Vicky screamed as she was led away. You'll regret this, David. I built this neighborhood. I made it better. Tyler watched, stunned. Mr. Miller, I'm sorry. You made mistakes, Tyler, but you were manipulated. Now's your chance to fix things. 3 months later, Vicky was sentenced to 18 months in prison in order to repay $65,000 in stolen funds. Her house went up for sale. She would never run an HOA again. Charlotte was promoted to head of finance, working with a new transparent board. Tyler sold his motorcycle, moved in with his father, and started community service. He visits sometimes, quiet, humble, trying to rebuild. Every Saturday I host coffee by the lake for neighbors, open discussions, no agendas. For the first time, Oakwood feels like a real community. The lake is peaceful again, but now it reflects more than just the sky. It reflects justice, resilience, and hope. Mr. Miller, Tyler asked one day, why didn't you just move away when Mom came after you? I smiled. Because, Tyler, running away doesn't fix things. Sometimes you have to stand your ground and do what's right. As the sun set over Miller Ranch Lake, I realized something. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is the one who was running the whole show all along. And that was the story of how one woman's greed nearly tore a community apart. But one quiet man, armed with truth and patience, restored justice. In a world full of noise, power plays, and manipulation, sometimes the strongest move is silence. Sometimes the loudest voice is the one that waits. David didn't yell. He didn't fight dirty. He used facts, the law, and integrity. And in doing so, he protected not just his lake, but the dignity of every neighbor who was too afraid to speak up. So the next time someone tells you they run the show, remember this story, because the ones who really run things